Trey Lyles or Leals says, would you rather live in a zombie apocalypse or a socialist utopia, and why? I'd rather live in the zombie apocalypse, because then all you have to do is fight the zombies. If you live in the socialist utopia, you have to fight everybody. Everybody's your enemy in the socialist utopia. The entire society is designed for you to not succeed and for you not to excel, and everything's built upon it. And if you start to show any kind of initiative or anything that I consider to be a primary value, if you show courage, if you show innovation, intelligence, risk-taking, you're punished for it. In a zombie apocalypse, you're rewarded handsomely for all of these things with your lives. So for my given value set, I'd rather live in the zombie apocalypse than in the socialist utopia, because I think everybody who lives in the socialist utopia is a zombie. I think the worst thing that can happen in the zombie apocalypse is you become a zombie, right? I mean, those are your choices. You either kill zombies or you become one. And one bites you and you become a zombie. And what is a zombie? A zombie is a mindless drone. It's a unit. It has no goals, no aspirations, no independence, nothing. It staggers around and it eats things. That's it. It lives a life of uniformity and hopelessness and inhumanity. It's like a shark. It's like a great white shark. A zombie is a great white shark. It just moves through the environment, and its entire purpose is to eat brains, and that's all it does. Zombies don't have plans and dreams. There's no zombie dream where you have a nice little patch of a graveyard someplace, and you and your zombie family can set up a hearse and do a little tailgating at the Raiders game. Nope, you're just a zombie. You're a unit. You process food over the course of your lifetime, and then you die. And in a socialist country, you get that. You certainly got in the Soviet Union. If you showed any initiative, if you showed any kind of resentment, forget rebellion, just resentment, pretty soon the KGB or the NKVD or whoever was assigned to this, because it's what they do, would find out about it. You'd be denounced by your brother-in-law, or maybe your girlfriend get mad at you, and you'd say you mentioned something bad about dear leader, and you're taken away and you're shot. And you live in fear all the time, and you have no place to go, right? That's really it. There's no place where you're safe in a socialist utopia. The fear that ran through the Soviet Union and through China and through Nazi Germany, just the fear, the constant fear. You can't have that kind of a powerful state without fear, because people won't do socialism without fear. Now, you may say that Sweden doesn't count. Well, let's take Sweden again. Sweden is driven by a kind of fear. I mean, Sweden, if you take Sweden as the example of good socialism, it's driven by the fact that I don't want to worry about my rent. I don't want to worry about my health care. I don't want to worry about anything, and I'll give up all of my hopes and dreams in exchange for being taken care of. It's fear. It's fear of your own authorship. It's fear of responsibility. It's fear of freedom. Eric Fromm talked about this, escape from freedom. Most people don't want to be free. They want to be taken care of. And they think that it's a worthy trade. And I know many Americans who feel that way. It's a worthy trade. I'd rather be taken care of than be the author of my own destiny. You mean healthcare be free? Yep. And I don't have to pay for the doctor? Nope. And what about apartments? Nope, we'll take care of that for you too. What about my food bill? Nope, we'll supply you with an EBT card. What about transportation? We'll get you a bus and an Obama phone, all of that. It's all going to suck. It's going to be low-quality food, low-quality transportation, low-quality healthcare. It's all going to suck, but you'll get it for free. You don't have to worry. We'll take care of it for you. We'll take care of it. Just go to work and vote for us. Okay, a lot of people make that deal because some people aren't wired for freedom. They don't have the courage for it. Freedom requires courage. And not just the courage to defend freedom. I mean, everyday operation of being a free person requires courage. In the Soviet Union, before the Soviet Union fell, a lot of Russian emigres would beg, plead, borrow, and steal, pay huge sums of money, and come over here to America in the 80s and 90s. And you had a large number of them going home because they realized, I have to pay my rent? Yes. You mean you have to get a job? Yes. Well, what happens if I don't pay your rent? Well, you get evicted. Well, then what happens? Well, then you live in the street, man. You got to get a job. What? I went to a job and they made me want to work. Yeah, well, you have to work. That's the deal. A lot of Soviets couldn't take it. They went back home. So it depends on your value system. I know a lot of people think it's nuts. They really think you're barking mad. You'd really, really, really rather live in a zombie apocalypse than in socialist paradise? I would. Because you're an author of your own destiny. And furthermore, my experience over the weekend a couple weeks ago rather, in Tampa, is also important. What is life really? I mean, life is more than eating, right? It's more than eating and sleeping. It's more than free healthcare. Life is about relationships. It's about people. It's about things that you do. It's about achievements. It's what makes it your life and not somebody else's life. The whole purpose of collectivism is to make sure everybody has the same life, and they'll openly say it. We want you to have the same house. We want you to have the same this. We want you to have the same everything. It's like everything's going to be the same. So everybody leads the same life. It's Winston Smith, right? It's Winston Smith and Ingsoc. He's an indescribable, ununique, faceless cog. Or you look at the guy in Brazil. Any of these these dystopias. You're not a person. You're a unit. And the thing that 1984 has in common with Brazil and has in common with the real world of these socialist things is that you have friends maybe, but there's nobody you seem to really trust. You don't really trust people with your lives because nobody wants to take that kind of risk. We already know what kind of person you are because you're living under this system. Having hung out with a bunch of fighter pilots down there who took me under a wing that they certainly had no obligation to, and basically we went out and, we did risk our lives. We were flying airplanes in interesting conditions. It's like, I trust these guys. And trusting people and depending on people who you admire is a tremendously exhilarating experience. And so the best part of a zombie apocalypse would be you and 7 other people or whatever the number is. But even though you may have all come from completely different backgrounds, you may have completely different values, when it's you versus the zombies, you either count on them and they're either worth being your friends or you ditch them because they're either going to save your life and you're going to save theirs or they're not. And that kind of quality is what makes life worth living to me. I don't see life as a clock I need to run out without getting as undamaged or as hungry as possible. I want to do things, and if do things means defend myself and fight with people I admire, take risks for things I care about, I'd rather live that way.